they continued their game. Axel was distracted throughout the remainder of it. What did Roxas want to tell him? He couldn't be Jewish, could he? But Axel wouldn't care if the blonde was Jewish. Himmler would, but Axel wouldn't.
No, not gay. Thanks to some poorly done foreshadowing, it turns out that Roxas is Jewish. Blonde-haired, blue-eyed Roxas is Jewish. And a proud member of the SS. So he signed up to join the SS and persecute Jews even though he is one. Okay, author, you fail. You fail at logic, and you fail at realism, and you fail at everything. And now please enjoy this kitten while I go and weep hysterically. Well, I'm back. So anyway, Roxas, Axel, Demyx, Riku, and a bunch of other characters whose names I can't pronounce go to Stonewall Avenue to round up Jews. Is there a Stonewall Avenue in Berlin? Let's check Google Maps real quick, and big surprise, there is no Stonewall Avenue in Berlin, Germany. You know what else you fail at, author? Geography. You fail at geography and you fail at research.
The 4SS walked up to the door of number 3 Stonewall Avenue, a place where the owners had been hiding a Jewish family for several months. Axel forcefully kicked the door open, so hard, in fact, that it came off the hinges entirely.
Riku and Axel decide to look for valuables, and some pointless bantering ensues. I'm going to point out right now that this is Riku. Riku is a male. Write that down because it'll be on the test later. It's revealed through more bad dialogue that Axel is Himmler's illegitimate son. Himmler's current wife is unaware of his existence, but Axel interacts with Himmler and even calls him father. Apparently, Himmler was nice enough to hang out with an illegitimate kid. Ugh, this author didn't do any research. So after some more poorly written dialogue, Axel and Roxas go grab a bite to eat and bitch about their day. Man, who knew that being in the SS would be so difficult?
It was 7:30 that night and Axel and Roxas were at a popular restaurant for some dinner. Both were complaining about the roundups, which had taken almost the entire day.
I know, rounding up people to send to death camps is like so totally boring. Axel then asks Roxas a question.
How does it feel to be Aryan?
It's awesome because I'm better than everyone else because of my blondness. Well, actually, Roxas feels very differently about the subject.
I know, but so many other people could be the ideal German. Like people with black hair and green eyes, Roxas said, but looks don't really matter to me.
I'm starting to get the feeling that maybe Roxas isn't too thrilled about being a Nazi.
I personally think this whole purification of Germany is a bunch of crap. As long as we aren't killing each other in the streets, it's okay.
That was Axel talking, but Roxas totally agrees with him, even though they're both Nazis. Yeah, apparently you can just join the SS even if you don't really want to be a Nazi. But I have to ask, if they feel so strongly that the Nazis are wrong, why did they join the SS in the first place? Why were they so excited when they joined? Why are they talking about this in a crowded public place? They're talking about this in a popular restaurant, which I am assuming is full of people who would be more than willing to tell Hitler all about this. And Axel here is supposed to be Himmler's illegitimate son, and the author has stated that Hitler has had a huge influence on his little bastard son. Why hasn't Axel been brainwashed then? Why does he have this opinion that's so vastly different from his father's? Now, just because your father has a certain opinion doesn't mean you have to have it too, but we're talking about a member of the Third Reich. If Himmler's been so invested in his bastard son here, why don't they share the same views? It's revealed that Roxas and Axel will be visiting Auschwitz the next day, and I just died a little inside.
One of the first things they saw was a pile of shoes. This wasn't a small pile, mind you. This was a huge pile of shoes, men's, women's, children's. Some were so small that they might have belonged to infants. Roxas told Axel that the shoes were going to be sold or burned to be made into other products.
Sweet Jesus in a jumpsuit. So Roxas and Axel see this pile of shoes and other items, and this is all they have to say about it.
It was a shame that these items had to be taken away from their rightful owners.
Their shoes were taken away? Why, that's just awful. Those Nazis sure were mean, taking away everybody's shoes. Honestly, this is all that the author has to say about it. It was a shame that these items had to be taken away from their rightful owners. Not even it was a shame that these items were taken away from their rightful owners, but it was a shame that these items had to be taken away from their rightful owners, thus implying that Nazis and their death camps were a necessary evil. You know, if I ever meet this author in person, I will slap her. I will. I will give her a firm, open-palmed slap on the face for this garbage, and that is the nicest thing that I will do. This story is turning me into a violent person.
On the walls were pictures of Jews, yet Axel didn't see them as Jews. He saw them as humans, humans who were being tortured and wanted to stay alive.
So, I guess this author is now saying that Jews aren't people. Ugh, this makes me sick. Here, look at this kitten while I go vomit. Alright, I'm back. So the scene was long, drawn out, and historically inaccurate, and I'm not going to talk about it anymore. This whole scene makes Axel feel uncomfortable, so he talks with Roxas about it.
What's the deal with this, anyway? Why do all of the Jews have to be tortured? They haven't done anything wrong. You know how the Führer feels about the Jews, Axel. He'll stop at nothing to kill them and make them suffer along the way. Roxas said. Well, this whole Third Reich is pointless, Axel said, still looking very pale. We should be helping these people, not torturing and killing them.
He's so open-minded and tolerant and progressive and accepting of all people, regardless of their race, ethnicity, religion, or sexual preference. I can see why he wanted to join the SS so badly and why they were so quick to recruit him. Here's a kitten while I scream. Roxas finally admits that he is indeed Jewish, even though he's a member of the SS. Axel is pretty doubtful after all, but then Roxas explains it.
Hitler didn't order a proper background check on me when I joined, Roxas said. He just liked the fact that I have blonde hair and blue eyes, so he let me in.
No, author, that isn't how it worked. None of this makes any sort of sense. Why? Why would Roxas join the SS if he was Jewish? Why didn't anybody order a background check? It's not like it would have been hard. Why does this story even exist? Why? Well, since Axel is so progressive and so open to diversity, he doesn't care what religion Roxas is.
And I still don't care, Roxy, Axel said. You could have 6 heads and 3 arms for all I care. I'll still be your friend.
Stop calling him Roxy. That's making this whole thing sound stupider than it already is. I'm surprised that Axel doesn't bother asking why Roxy here has joined the SS, what with him being Jewish and all. Ugh, I swear Hogan's Heroes had a more accurate depiction of World War II than this.
Roxas felt so relieved to let Axel know that the former was Jewish. Yet Roxas had another secret that was forbidden in the Third Reich. At least, he thought he knew. The feeling was still sleeping, still undeveloped in his heart. The Roxas had a very good idea about what the feeling was, and Adolf Hitler would not like it.
The secret is that he's gay. It's so painfully obvious that I could scream. There's some randomness about how some of the Kingdom Hearts characters turned SS members get kidnapped or something, so Roxas and Axel have to go rescue them or something, I don't know. It's poorly written and it wastes a lot of time and it's very pointless. Anyway, we then cut to a few weeks later.